Yo, what is good, y'all? My name is Trey Laurie, host of Black Men Do Think. And this is just a little conversation that I had about the changing of the guard of T.D. Jakes to his daughter, Sarah Jakes, and her husband, Torrey. So check it out, hear what I have to say, my opinion, leave your opinion, and let's conversate. Let's see how it goes. Peace and blessings, everybody.
Okay, Trey. So I have a question for you. So just recently, one of Christian faith's giants just retired. T.D. Jakes stepped down as founding pastor of the Potter's House, and he passed the baton over to his daughter, Sarah Jakes Roberts, and her husband, Torrey Roberts. They are now the main pastors of the Potter's House ministry. So my question to you is, what do you think about this monumental moment of, where you see the passing of this legacy of this powerful ministry over decades long going into the hands of T.D. Jakes' daughter and her husband? What do you think about this?
I would just like to preface this with, I'm a historian. I'm a wannabe historian. I am learning, training, studying, and historically speaking, historians delve into things they can prove. For instance, just dealing with Jesus, as I said, we can prove that he was a first century Palestinian Jew. He created a following. He was a charismatic preacher. People chose to follow him. Mm-hmm. The last week of his life, he ran afoul with the Roman authorities and they crucified him. That is provable. Mm-hmm. We cannot prove he walked on water. We cannot prove that he resurrected. Those are just things outside. There's things outside of physical nature. As I say, if I drop this Bible every single time, it's going to fall. Now, if you tell me, I don't have to see it, you dropped a book, and long as nothing impeded it, there's no table under it, anything like that, that book fell. I don't need to see it, okay? So I say that to say, preaching about the historical Jesus, the historical Christianity, it eliminates a female from being a pastor. And so if you read 1 Corinthians 14:34, it is very clear. If you read, I believe it's 2 Timothy, it is very clear on why Paul believes that women should not be pastors. It's so that they do not have authority over men as far as teaching them. In 1 Corinthians, it says women are to be quiet in churches. If you have a question, ask your husband at home. But it is of utter defiance for a woman to speak in a church. Pastors in Christianity today overlook these lines in favor of lines they do like. They don't like the hard look at Christianity. Now, I do believe that those verses are misogynistic. I believe they're sexist, and I don't subscribe to them, but Paul does. And that is the leading authority on the Christology that people subscribe to. Also, when you look at T.D. Jakes, he has authority through his education. I believe he has a doctor, and I know he has at least a master in theology. He has the educational pedigree to teach this subject. Sarah Jakes, to my belief, has a communications degree from what I've seen. She has no educational background to teach this. She has no authority through her ministerial work of educational background to teach this. So I look at her as Bronny James. Mm-hmm. I look at T.D. Jakes as LeBron James and she's Bronny James. That's what I look at. But it's far more serious consequences when you're teaching about a theological subject versus sports figure. The last reason and most important thing why I don't want to say use the word against, but that I'm so adamant in bringing to the forefront Dr. King and Malcolm X and people like this, because even though Malcolm X was a Muslim, he lived the teachings of Jesus. Dr. King lived the teachings of Jesus. Dr. King, when he won the Nobel Peace Prize Award, it came with a $53,000 check. He donated every nickel to the SCLC. The only thing he kept was the Rolex watch that came with it. I often hear that, oh, well, T.D. Jakes doesn't make money off the church. He sells books. Dr. King wrote 2 New York Times bestsellers. He donated every single dime of those books to charity. He kept none of it. Everything he did monetarily was for the people. He commanded up to $15,000 per speech. He donated every nickel of that to help get blacks out of jail that were marching for him, to get people lawyer fees, to fight cases. He kept nothing. Dr. King died impoverished. Malcolm X died when Malcolm X he died in 1965. In 1964, he was the most sought after public speaker behind Lyndon Baines Johnson, the president at the time. He could have made millions of dollars on the speaker circuit. He chose to donate every nickel, every dime. Matter of fact, when Malcolm X was assassinated, his wife, Betty Shabazz, couldn't even mourn properly. She had to go on the news and ask for donations so her and her daughters could have a place to live. She didn't even get to cry the night he died, let alone mourn afterwards. These are people who lived and subscribed their entire lives to the teachings and the what Jesus meant. When I see a pastor make millions of dollars, just go against the word in which God preached, I'm adamant about bringing that to the forefront and acknowledging that, because we have our own heroes that we can look to. We have our own people that did live and suffer and die for us. And we should not keep looking at this Jewish man who was only sent to the lost sheep of Israel, but we should look to the people who have suffered and died for us and told us that they were going to do it for. And we should exclude those who go against those preachers who are clearly in it for a monetary gain. Sarah Jakes is in that seat because she can put women's butts in seats. She can get women to donate. She can get women to buy books. No matter I don't have any educational authority, no matter I don't have the background, no matter I was not brought, I'm just Bronny James. I'm just Bronny James. That's where I'm at in this. So that's why I do get a little excited.
A little passionate.
A little passionate over these things. Because I believe our people deserve more. I believe we should look to more, and I believe we deserve more.
So you believe this is just a business transaction?
I can't see why you would bring an uneducated, basically theological illiterate person into a 30,000 member church if it wasn't. It's expensive to keep these lights on. It's expensive to keep this on. Y'all want heat when y'all come in here? Adam's energy is expensive. Y'all want lights when you come in here? Well, Reliant Energy is expensive. Y'all want these nice velvet seats to sit on? Well, that's not cheap. We got to keep this up. Oh, you like seeing me in this Tom Ford suit? Well, that's not cheap either. I have a Bentley. How am I going to keep that up? That payment is a lot. I have a mansion. I have a business. I have things I have to keep going. I mean, I can't do that if I don't have somebody that can put butts in these seats. And that's what she does. And it's hard to swallow, but the truth usually is.